Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. May I take this opportunity to ask to please have your seats. The Honorable Emmeline Pierre, Parliamentary Representative for the constituency of St. Andrew South East. And the cliche is always ladies first, so we'll stick with the ladies. The Honorable Kate Lewis Peters, Parliamentary Representative for the constituency of St. Andrew North East. And as people like to say, we leave the country and we're going in tongue. So let us welcome and recognize the Honorable Peter David. And we have some senators with us this afternoon. And it's like, torn between two lovers. They're both brethren of mine, so I don't even know which one to mention first. But I believe I should go, maybe it's seniority. And if I was to go to seniority, I'm guessing here, Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox. Now, I love the fact that you gave him a nice welcome. But let us make that welcome song louder than the noise Beryl made in Carriacou. Senator the Honorable Dwight Hosford. Now, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, I ain't even know what I'm doing up here, I ain't even know. But I take this opportunity to welcome every single one of you here this evening. But before we go into all these fandangles, let us take the opportunity and ask Ms. Marilyn Bedeau to come forward and lead us in a word of prayer.
Good evening. Eternal God and Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. We thank you for this gathering. We ask your blessing upon us all. We ask you, Father, to bless us individually and bless us collectively. We pray an extra blessing and anointing with a hedge of protection on this cabinet, this entire cabinet. We ask you, Lord, to keep them together as one body so they could work as one for the well-being of our nation. Lord, we just thank you and we bless you and we glorify you. You are the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, and we worship you, good Father, because without you, we are nothing. Without you, Father, we are lost. We know, Lord God, that you are our guidance and our protection, and we, Lord God, we come before you with all that we have, with all our problems, all our worries, all our baggages, and we leave them at your foot of your healing cross, because we know that you're an able God, and you are the only one that can take care of us. And Father, we come to you believing and trusting in you. You're an unchanging God, a God that never changes, a God of yesterday, today, and forever, and our hope and our trust is in you. Father God, you said in your word, if we remain in you and you in us, we can ask for anything, believing, and it will be done for us. And so, Father, this evening, my prayer, my asking, Lord God, is send your guiding angel to my island, my loving island of Caracou, not forgetting Petit Martinique. Lord, they're still going through disasters and problems. They're suffering. And Lord, I ask you, come in a mighty way, Lord God, and help them that they may come back to the land that we know that we love. We're counting on you. We know, Lord God, you are an able God. We bless you. We adore you. We glorify you. We give you thanks. I make this prayer in no other name but the mighty and matchless name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus. Amen.
Thank you very much, Miss Bedeau. You know, I've heard about this lady so much, yeah? It's just not funny. As a matter of fact, the last thing I heard is that, Andre, if you want anything in Caracou, speak to Miss Bedeau. If you want anything in Petit Martinique, speak to Miss Bedeau. So, Miss Bedeau, I want a piece of land. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please ask you to stand as the steel pan would lead us in the national anthem. Don't sit. I didn't ask you to sit. We've recognized the Supreme One, the great I Am, in our presence. And we have acknowledged that we are all Grenadians. And whenever you hear me say Grenadians here this evening, don't for one moment believe that Caracou and Petit Martinique is left out. Whenever I say Grenadians, I mean all of us, Miss Bedeau. Right. But it is time for us to recognize ourselves and to pay homage to the party to which we belong. Ladies and gentlemen, let us shout the deepness of our voices from deep within the valleys so that those in the mountaintops can hear us. Not shouting from the mountaintops down to the valleys. On the valleys and we're shouting out to the mountaintops. Let us join together and sing the party song of the new national party. 2, 3. Oh, you can count on me, working for my faithful I will, with all my working for the NNP. Come on, Mo. Can count on me, working for my party, Faithful I will be. I will fight with all my might, working for the end. One more time. Oh, you can. Working. Faithful I will be. I will fight with all my might, working for the NNP. Hip, hip, hip. Hip, hip, hip. That's the spirit. Now you can sit. And I'd like to tell you this. Not very many organizations understand and know that when you're having a function, the first person you recognize is the great I am, the supreme creator. And then you recognize country. If you go back to a couple of videos, not too very long ago, you'll see some people recognizing country. And then when they finish country, then they remember they should pray. But we don't do it like that. We know the proper way to do things. I wish it was my task to welcome all of you here. However, it is not my responsibility to do such. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to put your hands together. You see them DJ and them, they're always slow. Eh? Ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together and welcome Brother Saul Dikoto from the island of Martinique to welcome you here this evening.
A pleasant afternoon. I would like to say thanks to everyone for coming. Political leader of the new National Party and opposition leader, Dr. Keith Mitchell. Other members of Parliament and the executive members of the NNP. Members of the NNP New York chapter and the Carriacou support group. Brothers and sisters, it is a pleasure to welcome you to this town hall of the 16th constituency, New York. We look forward in getting information about what is happening in our country and the NNP plans. Brothers and sisters, let us take this time to welcome and thank you for taking your time off your busy schedule to be here with us. We trust that you will get the answers to your concerns and share ideas as to the way forward for our country, Grenada, Carriacou, and Martinique. We also invite you to support our concession stand as we raise funds for the continued work of the party. Once again, brothers and sisters, welcome.
Thank you very much, Brother Saul Dikoto. I've just been informed that from Ambassador Denison Twine is in our presence, and I take this opportunity to welcome you, sir, and may you enjoy the evening. In everything you do, they say you must have God. But also, in everything you do, you must have women, especially intelligent women. Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce to you the president of the New York chapter of the new National Party, Mrs. Aisha Olivier.
I'm not as tall as Andre. Special good evening to our special guest, Minister of Parliament for St. Andrews Southeast, Honorable Emmeline Pierre, Minister of Parliament for the Town of St. George, Honorable Peter David, Minister of Parliament for St. Andrews Northeast, Honorable Kate Lewis Peters, Political Lead for Carriacou and Petite Martinique, Senator Nolan Cox, long-standing member of the New National Party, Senator Dwight Horsford, executives, members, supporters, well-wishers, guests, good evening. The New York chapter has been in existence for over 20 years, supporting our home party through fundraisers, events, soliciting assistance, and personal donations. In November 2023, a new executive was elected. This team believes that unity, support, and inclusion can greatly aid in the support of our home party and our people. We have had several successful events and have future events to come. The executive body, the NNP New York Support Group, along with the Carriacou and Petite Martinique New York Support Group, pledges to continue to work diligently. We need your continued support in aiding our party's mission. There are many ways you can support publicly and privately. Talk to us, we would listen. Write to us, we would read. It is clear they are needed. It is clear that we are needed now more than ever. Our heart aches and pains daily for those who are suffering back home. We here in the diaspora are affected indirectly by the impact of decisions made by the current administration. There is a population being ignored by this government. There are persons being victimized and abused. Where is the accountability? Others who are well off do not seem to care. Sadly, we as a people are becoming less caring, more angry. How can we attempt to change? It is time to come forward, not to be silent. We will not be bullied into silence. We are here because we believe in what our party stands for. A party for the people. A party for all people. A party where our representatives are loved, supported, work hard, and yes, are held accountable. Not only do we hold them accountable, they take accountability. This is true representation. As we look and listen to our leaders who have presented themselves here today to us, we can clearly see they have experience, they have the knowledge, they have the willpower, they have the warm hearts towards people, and they share our house. We, the New York chapter, is privileged to host this event and do hope that everyone have an enjoyable evening. Happy 40th anniversary, NNPites.
Wow, rather inspiring. I guess the NNP will have to really and truly make up here the 16th constituency and have her run. My friend, please, thank you. Now, we're just trying to make sure that the cameras can pick up this handsome face. You know, we don't want the microphone to be blocking. Now, many times when you go to functions, you just have people come in and speak arbitrarily. But this is not the mantra of the New National Party. When someone steps here, that person is going to deliver a message. And our very first speaker from those seated here and to come, those to come. But our very first speaker this evening will be speaking on a topic that is so very important that as soon as you finish here, you should be calling your friends and your families back home and saying, hey, I heard something here in New York today. You guys need to be careful. You guys need to continue to look and make sure that what is being planned does not get the chance to be executed. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of the New National Party, happy am I to present our very first speaker, a gentleman who has done quite a lot, not just in his homeland, Grenada, but in other islands throughout the Caribbean. He has made his mark. He's here with us this evening to bring a very powerful message, one that you should pay very close attention to. Put your hands together and welcome to the podium Senator Dwight Hosford. Let's hear it.
Thank you, Brother Chairman, and I have to call you Chairman for the evening. And I want to say a very pleasant good evening to our sisters and brothers here in New York. It is a very special privilege for me to be here. In fact, I'm catching up with family, and it's wonderful being here. Sisters and brothers on the head table, my dearest friends, to my extreme left, Brother Nolan Cox, who is continuing the struggle in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, because they need him more now than ever. We scarcely have a government there, so he really is the man in action there. And Sister Kate Lewis, a champion for youth and youth development. I'm happy to be in her company here with you, sister. And of course, Sister Emmeline Pierre, our dynamic sister, always championing, whether it is the young people, national development. She is with us. And I'm very proud to be in her presence and her company as well as part of this team. And of course, our Brother Peter David from the town of St. George. With the fancy jacket, making me feel underdressed. So sisters and brothers, I bring greetings, of course, from our great party and our sisters and brothers in Grenada. You know, I think this meeting, this interface with you is timely, and I hope and I look forward to further meetings like this one. Because engagement with our diaspora, our Grenadian sisters and brothers abroad, is not only when we want to raise money for things for the party in Grenada. And we don't want you to think that at all. It is important to engage the diaspora, in my view, because there is a certain pulse that you will give to us as you relate to your own family back home. Quite often, oftentimes persons in political frontline, politicians, they miss certain details because at times you get into a bubble. And it is important to feel the pulse of your diaspora, to feed in ideas and have that exchange. And that is why this evening, you will see that we are not scripted here. There's a mic there, and at some point there will be interaction with all of us on the stage and with you. Forgive me, I must also recognize Ambassador Dennis Antwine. Forgive me for that. Ambassador, it's good to be in your presence as well. Before I take my seat, I am to deliver to you a very short but important message. Because you see, we are celebrating 40 years as a dynamic and strong political organization. We are celebrating 40 years of a party that is the only party that has set Grenada on the path to development, without a doubt. And 40 years is a milestone, but it is also an opportunity for us to pause and reflect. Because as we look at the past and review the journey that we had begun to this point, we must also look ahead. Because, sisters and brothers, there is a new landscape in Grenada. My mother say it's children that run in the government. I understand where she's coming from, because she's speaking from a generation much more senior to those who we have elected to office. But the significance is that at this point, we must concern ourselves with strengthening our institution called the New National Party after 40 years. And that is why you see this team is here, and you would see more sisters and brothers, new faces coming on board as we carry the torch forward for our party and our nation. And so, 40 years of strength, 40 years of vision. And we commit to you 40 more and 40 more after that of NNP going onward and upward. Now it is my task in the National Executive to look at our voter registration, the voter registration process, and to monitor our constituency work in canvassing the voters list. Why is that so important? It is important, sisters and brothers, because, as you know, the classic statement, politics and the election is a numbers game. And what we have discovered are some strange things happening on our voters list. Strange names, names that are not conventional, usual, identifiable Grenadian names. Because as we suspected all along, a certain program for investment in the country has been abused. And they are using it now as a fail-safe because of the dwindling support for the administration. The fail-safe is that when persons participate in this program and they obtain permission for a certain development and they get a Grenada passport as part of the package, you know there's no first-class citizen and second-class citizen. There are no categories of citizen. Citizen is citizen. And so the idea, the plot, is to use these persons and register them in certain constituencies that they considered were marginal and very close on the last occasion, so as to increase the numbers that may vote for them in those constituencies so that they could hold on to office. Can you imagine that? They just reach, They just reach. And this is what we see happening. So the political battles that we have to fight going forward, this is part of the frontier, sisters and brothers. This is part of the frontier. We have a new bunch of hungry people that want to stay there. They ain't too concerned about what they're doing, whether they bring in service and benefit to the people. They talk about transformation, as my sisters and brothers will tell you much further along in this meeting. They'll elaborate on that. The only transformation I can tell you, those of you who are moving back and forth to Grenada, and some of you who only watch the TV, I can tell you the only transformation is transformation in certain people's pocket. Because as soon as you land and you leave Point Saline, when you ride it, blood, you're hitting pothole. Because that is not, no, you're laughing, that is not being attended to. And you'll hear all sorts of lovely things because they are good at PR, public relations. They're sending all these images to you and tell you the country doing so well. Great things are happening. Take the plane and come down and see. Take the plane and come down and see. They tell you they've made $1.2 billion. Not million. $1.2 billion in CBI project investments. But that money is not in the economy. That money is not in the country. Every time a question is asked in the parliament about the unemployment rate, every time budget cycle comes around and a question is asked by the team, what about the percentage of economic growth? Ducking. Every time question is asked about the figures for job creation, ducking again. You notice no more transformation talk? They ain't talking about transformation. Because it's not happening. And so, sisters and brothers, that is why it is so important for us to come and re-engage. And I call it re-engaging with you in the diaspora. Because I believe, firmly so, on the last occasion, many of us and many of you, sisters and brothers in the diaspora, were duped by the fancy talk and a nice PR. And now, Well, it didn't take long, sister. It didn't take long for Grenadians to catch up. Because when you're catching your backside, when you're catching your nene, you go catch up, you know. You go catch up. And so the people have caught up. But as it is with our system of government, it's not like we have in some parts of the United States, you know, you have recall. You get a certain amount of petitions and you could recall your representative. Unfortunately, we don't have that. So we have to wait. Some of us have to wait. But in the meantime, while we are waiting, we are educating our sisters and brothers. We are organizing our party. And we are giving political education to all our party foot soldiers so that we can be ready to take back the country and return it to prosperity once more. So sisters and brothers, hold the fort. Hold the fort, because the new National Party train is coming. And we're coming strong. We're coming strong, sisters and brothers. I want to thank you so very much, and I look forward to engaging with all of you later on this evening. Thank you so very much. God bless you.
If you look at the table in the back, you'll see some of these. But before I speak to it, ladies and gentlemen, that is not how you show appreciation for somebody who has really and truly spoken to you and given you a message here this evening. Let's hear it for Brother Dwight Hospital. And going forward, I want that noise to increase. It should never decrease. Good? My attention was drawn to something. But I have learned that sometimes the best thing to do is use a new word I made on my own. Ignorement. I know what kind of word it is. I made the word. So I use in ignorement because they brought my attention to something and pointed out something or somebody, and I say, ignorement is the order of the day. But there's one thing we can't ignore, brothers and sisters. And there's one thing we should never ignore. We should never ignore the fact that our brothers and sisters in the northern part of Grenada and some in the eastern, western, and eastern end suffered recently. We must never ignore that the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, I don't think that the word suffer is the proper word to use. And maybe by the end of the evening, I might find the word to use to describe what the people of Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and some people in the northern part of Grenada, what they went through when Hurricane Beryl struck Grenada. And there's a gentleman, there may be some of you who are in Carriacou, I don't know. But there's a gentleman in this very room who was there. He went through it. And that song says, through the storm. He had no choice but to brace it with the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And he has been, over the past few months, as I say, working his butt off to ensure that life gets better for the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. As a matter of fact, my personal name for him is the internet man, because he's going around with that internet thing all about giving people 2 hours here and 1 hour there and 2 hours there. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Brother Norland Cox.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Let me take this opportunity to give a shout out to our political leader who is on his way here. Our most distinguished political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Kit Mitchell. I'll give him a round of applause. You see, every time I get an opportunity to recognize him, at these settings, it is also important for us to recognize the contribution that he has and continue to make, not just for our beloved party, but for our beloved country. And I think that selfless act must be recognized at all times. He is an exceptional individual. I want to recognize my dear brother and colleague, Honorable Peter David, our sister, Honorable Emmeline Pierre, our beautiful sister, Kate Lewis, always decked off. And of course, my dear brother, Dwight Horsford, Honorable Senator, who has just joined me in the Senate. And I was hoping that maybe we'll get an opportunity to dive into the budget for the country, but it doesn't seem that we'll have that opportunity this year. So we look forward to 2025. My dear friend and colleague, former Ambassador Antoine, and of course, you, the heart and soul of the diaspora, who continue to be a beacon of hope and support for everyone back home. We want to thank you for coming here and thank you for your continued support. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Friends, colleagues, family, I want to really start off by saying a heartfelt thanks to you, especially in this past few months. Your calls, your donations, everything that you have done in some way or the other to give some support to the people of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique has not gone unnoticed. We are eternally grateful for everything that you are doing for us. Just a few months ago, our islands undergo, which I believe one of the worst, if not the worst, disaster that we have ever experienced. And it has left a lot of families broken. We have lost loved ones during the storm. We extend our deepest condolences. We continue to lose loved ones from the aftermath. You know how stressful these hurricanes can be. And it renders our families a very, very tough blow whenever we have to lose a loved one. We continue to do the best that we can. We continue to rebuild slowly, but it's very difficult. You may see on social media pictures, videos that does not tell the true story. And you can ask anyone who has had an opportunity to see the ravages firsthand, and they will tell you that when they saw it on the phone or on the computer, it's different from when they actually got on the ground. We have a very long road ahead of us, but we will get through it. Carriacouans and Petit-Martiniquans are resilient people, And we have done it before, and we can do it again. We found ourselves in a situation where we have to lead by not being in charge. Even not being in charge. We are not in charge of government, but we have to lead. And that is one of the hallmarks of the New National Party. Whether we're in government or not, we take lead where people is concerned. Whenever it comes to people, we take leadership decisions. And immediately after the hurricane, the New National Party moved into action. We swiftly established and implemented a Wheels on Meals food initiative, cooking hot meals every day and delivering it to our elderlies, shut-ins, persons who have lost their homes. We were feeding every single person that we can meet. And we weren't doing it in any way or means or shape through any political means. We were feeding each and every person that we could meet. And that is what we have done, and that is what we continue to do. During a disaster is not the time for us to be singling out people and asking where you vote before you can get something to eat. We have not done that, and we would never do that. That is not who we are as a party. That is not who we are as a people. And any initiative that I have to spearhead during this difficult time for us, we have reached out to everyone. We also implemented a portable toilet. You know, right after the storm, persons lose their homes, everything has been destroyed. We quickly located portable toilets in selective areas throughout the communities, and also at some of the shelters. We did that. The New National Party did that right after the hurricane. Those were our initiatives. We also, through the support of friends and family in the diaspora, we also give support to everyone with relief materials, water, everything. Just recently, as last Saturday, we gave out school bags, school supplies, relief items, clothes. I mean, we just open our doors and we welcome each and every Carriacouan and Pitimatnican who needs this support. And that is what we have been doing. So we are proud. We are proud of who we are and what we represent as a party, especially during these difficult times. But you know what's really disappointed me, brothers and sisters, is when we establish our kitchen, the Wheels on Meals. On a Saturday, the public health official came to inspect our kitchen on a Saturday with an attempt to shut the kitchen down. Could you imagine, during a disaster? But only to find out that our kitchen was the only kitchen that met the requirements. Brothers and sisters, we are prepared. We are properly prepared. And you know what was even more sad? That a government official go on national TV and said that why is NNP cooking food and giving people? Because we're generating garbage. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? People are hungry, they want food to eat, and the only thing you could think about is generating garbage. And what is even more sad is that there were other institutions cooking meals as well, but they were only targeting our initiative. They also targeted the toilet, the portable toilets. They said, where are we going to clean it? We had a pump truck, and we had men and women to help clean the toilets and to make sure they were properly sanitized for use on a daily basis. So we were ready and we were prepared. But it just goes to show you, brothers and sisters, during a crisis, the first thing that they try to do is to prevent the leadership initiatives of this New National Party. And we are very, very disappointed. And we have to call them out. We have to call them out. Because during that time, we need the support more than ever as Carriacouans. And so when we see those negative feedback, we have to deal with them, brothers and sisters. But I want to touch on one of the most challenging things for our citizens in Carriacou right now, brothers and sisters, and that is housing. Housing is one of our greatest needs currently, brothers and sisters. And coupled with that, you know that in Carriacou, we get our water from rainwater harvesting mainly. So just imagine, majority of the roofs are off right now. So what is happening is that no water is being collected during this period. And when dry season comes in January, we are going to be challenged more than ever. And I'm saying this in the context that I am so concerned that we don't know what is going to happen. We really don't know what is going to happen. We, as a party, we are discussing certain initiatives to see how we can strengthen the response effort when that time comes, which will come, to give whatever support that we can to our brothers and sisters during that period. And we may call on you to give some further support wherever you can to make that happen, because we do have some challenging months coming ahead this dry season. But brothers and sisters, we can say that we're almost in November. We're almost in November. And you know, it was only about 24 hours ago, it really dawned on me that in response to the rebuilding efforts by the current government, that not one single house has been completed yet in Carriacou or Petit Matlick. Brothers and sisters, you wouldn't believe me, but that is a fact. There is not one single house that is completed, that is handed over to any family or individual to say that, look, my house has been damaged or blown down, and the government has rebuilt the house for me, and I'm in there. There is not one single house to this date that has been completed. Could you believe it? You can't believe it? But that is the fact. That is the fact. They have started building some houses since September, and to this date, none have been completed. Brothers and sisters, the response has been sluggish, it has been unplanned, it's unstructured, and it seems that it's going to fail. But we are hoping and we are praying that they don't fail. We are rooting for the government, because if they succeed, the people of Carriacou and Petit Matlick will benefit. But right now, what we are seeing, we are very hopeless that they are able to do a good job. Brothers and sisters, this recovery effort, we see a lack of leadership, a lack of good judgment, a lack of good decisions. And one such example is that every single playing field in Carriacou and Petit Matlick, except for the mini stadium, is an official dump site. Could you believe it? Of all the lands that are available in Carriacou, a decision was taken to make the playing fields at this point in time, where our boys and girls need some place to recreate, to alleviate the stress of burial. There is no place to play. Thank God for the beach. There is not a single playing field except for the mini stadium. All other playing fields are littered with garbage. Littered with garbage. And you'll hear more about this garbage cleanup. Brothers and sisters, we want to stand and let me welcome our political leader.
Sit down, me can't sit down. Say me down. Me can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. Say me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. Say me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down.
Thank you very much, and welcome to our political leader. So, brothers and sisters, let's get back to this very important issue. And you know, I saw recently somebody put a post, and they said the view from the office, and it was a pile of garbage. I mean, if you know Hillsborough Secondary School and know the Hillsborough Recreation Ground, you know that basically the dump is next door to the secondary school. And so school has commenced, and the kids, the teachers, they have to contend with being in close proximity to an official dump site. That is the situation at play. We hear of the growing cases of dengue, which is taking place also on the islands. And you can tell if you have that large amount of garbage stored there, with rains falling, water being collected, you know, there's significant proliferation of mosquito taking place right now on the islands because of the garbage. And we are asking and we are calling on the government to move speedily to get rid of this garbage off the island. They have been very sluggish, and we believe that they can do better. We believe that Carriacou and Petit Martinique deserves better. I want to touch a little bit on schools and education. And, you know, the news just keep getting sadder and sadder by the day. It's getting sadder by the day. And, you know, I want to tell you this. There was a meeting recently with parents and guardians and staff of the Dover Government School with the parliamentary rep for Carriacou. And certain decisions were made as to how to address the situation with the Dover Government School. A week later, the Minister for Education came and had a meeting with the said students, said parents, said teachers, and a different decision was taken. And I'll tell you what those two decisions were. The first decision by the parliamentary rep was to build a temporary building, a temporary school for Dover School, put some fans in and a platform for the kids. And when the Minister for Education came, he said that he is the Minister for Education and not the parliamentary rep for Carriacou. And so the decision is that Dover School is going to close and the students are going to go to Mount Pleasant. I said, let me repeat this. The Minister for Education said to the parents that Dover School, the Dover School, a school that is 80 plus years old, is going to close, and they're going to move Dover School students, they're going to bus them daily to Mount Pleasant. Could you believe it, brothers and sisters? That if, when that news, when the minister informed, I understand that parents, some of them broke down in tears. A community as Weenmore, Dover, Belvedere, Pretty Carinage, Belvedere, Limley, Bogles, you are going to remove a school? The National Party, when we were in government, a few years ago, there were suggestions to close the Mount Pleasant School. And we stand firm and say that we are not in the business of closing schools. And we ensure that the Mount Pleasant School remained open despite the challenges. We did that. So I want to send a message to the Minister and the Ministry of Education and the government, of course. I want to send a message. I'm going to read out the motto of the Dover Government School for them and for them to dwell on it. And the motto of the Dover Government School is, be aware of mental slovenliness. That is the motto of the Dover Government School. Be aware of mental slovenliness. And I want them to digest it. Could you imagine? And I want to commend the private person or persons or organization or business who are able to build a new school and daycare right after Hurricane Beryl. That school opened on the 9th of September. I must commend them. I must commend them. But could you imagine that a private person was able to build a new school and the government of Grenada cannot build a temporary school for Dover and Mount Pleasant? Could you imagine? I think they should take a page from the persons who are able to build this new school. I believe so. Because I can't understand how a private person who has less resources, less access to labor, money, was able to build a school and open. I think the school opened early September. But they can't seem to get a proper accommodation for the staff and students of the Dover Government School. But I want to make a call here and now that we have to build a temporary school for Dover Government School and even Mount Pleasant. We have to do it. And I'm making a call in this diaspora. Somebody who may know somebody that can direct us to somebody who can help for us to get some assistance to build a temporary school. I'm certain that parents and persons from the communities can come out and give free labor to help build that school so that our kids can get a comfortable place. We are not supporting the idea of closing school. I want to speak a little bit on business support. The government right after Hurricane announced some measures to give some support to persons who would have lost their homes, businesses that would have been damaged. And they indicated that, look, we are going to remove VAT, we are going to remove duties, and so that whenever you go to the hardware store to purchase, your sales, your purchases are not going to attract any VAT or duties. Brothers and sisters, just as how the persons go to the store, just so the store owners tell them, we ain't know nothing about that. We ain't hear nothing from nobody, and we ain't know nothing about that. That has failed. It has not worked. The free barrel, well, I don't have to tell you. You are here in the diaspora and you know the challenges with the free barrel, as indicated. Every home is only allowed, or every person is only allowed 2 pieces of item, or 2 pieces of appliances. So if you have a house and you lost both of your televisions, and you have 2 fridges, you're only given concessions for 1 TV and only 1 fridge, or 2 fridge and no TV, or 2 TV and no fridge. So just imagine businesses who have several coolers and freezers, they are only entitled to only 2. That is what was said. I'm only repeating what they said. Does that make sense, brothers and sisters? We are asking the government to review this, to make it more easy for our people to be able to access those measures so that we can truly benefit from it. They also took an initiative to put $25 million in the Minister's Bank. You ever heard about the Minister's Bank? That's the GDB. That's the minister's bank. That's where all the ministers go to get their easement. Yeah? The minister's bank. I recall when this was put forward in the parliament, I asked the question, what are the terms and conditions? What are the terms and conditions? How our businesses are going to be able to access these monies so that they can start back? Well, I'm hearing it's a ton of paperwork. You have to bring land deed and all kind of stuff. We are saying it's a clear opportunity for you, the government, to take some of the $118 million that you receive 14 days after burial. 14 days, $118 million. I think it's 150 when you add up what was given to electricity and the other utilities, 150 or so million EC dollars. Yeah, that was given to the government of Grenada. They received the check 14 days after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. 14 days. I just want you to know. And they could have used that monies for anything, especially to provide support for the people who were distressed. And yet, up to this day, not a single house is completed in Karaku or Pitimatnik. Brothers and sisters, we are suggesting that a grant injection be given to business to start up. Just as how we had the CES program, where monies were given to businesses so that they can use to get themselves moving. No more than ever, brothers and sisters, businesses need a grant. They don't need a loan when they don't have anything to sell. They don't need a loan. They need a grant so that they can stock the shelves. You have the monies. They say that the economy is doing well. They don't have to go and borrow. Everything is going fine. They don't have to beg. Well, we are begging. I am begging for the people of Karaku and Pitimatnik. We need more support. Brothers and sisters, I'm keenly looking at my time. But I want to touch a little bit on infrastructure. And I have plenty more to say on Karaku, but because of time. I want to touch a little bit on infrastructure. This party, when in government, we have an impeccable record with infrastructure development, which no other government in the history of Grenada, Karaku, and Pitimatnik can match. And we stand by that strongly. And we have invested in infrastructure because we know that when you invest on the capital side of the budget, each and every single sector of the economy benefits. And that is why we invest in the country. And I could give you a long list of projects that was done or already in motion when we left government. The Molyneux Landslip Road still can't open up to this day. Cost overruns over $20 million. Yeah? Significant cost overruns due to negligence, brothers and sisters. A project that should have cost $10 million is way 20-something, almost $30 million. We have the Monkuma Road. I always tell this story that Doc called me in his office about 7 o'clock in the morning. And he said, Cox, we have this challenge with the Molyneux Road. We have a serious challenge going through Montmorris. As a little boy, I know of a road called Monkuma. Let's open up that road. Let's build a new road there. That is where the idea of Monkuma came from. And we quickly moved. And when Doc suggested the figures, when we do the assessment, and I told him, look, it's going to cost much more than what you're projecting because we have to do a bridge and we have to widen the road. And he said, Cox, get it done. And the Monkuma Road today is one of the main arteryway to ease up the traffic. We did that. The Sotters Breakwater Project, we have already did designs to rectify that. We already had plans for a jetty and seawall in Waltham. The agriculture feeder roads, that we saw roads under that done in Karaku, Butcher Hill, and Limle. The St. Patrick's Road Network, the St. John's River Project, my dear colleague here, Honorable Peter David, When I told him that we're going to start the project, he said, Cox, you sure? He said, I've been in NDC and the project can't start. I come in NNP. You sure this project will start? I say, guy, I got it. I got your back. We're going to start. And, you know, after we left, the project is still incompleted. But the persons in the revert area see the benefits of what was already done. You have the Western Main Road project, which we lost, which they lost. They lost that project, over $36 million. That was lost. The Fort George project, the restoration of the Fort George project, that project that project was already tendered. So, and a contractor was already selected when we left government. The Goa Medical Station, the Goa Polyclinic, I mean, nothing is being done with that. This beautiful facility, all right? And the idea behind that facility was that persons coming from Surtees, St. Mark's, if they have any serious medical issues, they wouldn't have to go all the way to St. George's. And that is the purpose of the polyclinic. And it's not being utilized, brothers and sisters. And we can go on. St. Mark's Medical Station, the St. George Market Development and Upgrade, and our famous low-income Chinese homes, which are now being called condominiums. Brothers and sisters, those are the hallmark of the work of the New National Party. St. David's, a fire station for St. David's. The upgrade and expansion of the Morris Bishop International Airport. We did that. That is our project. Yeah. I saw the air bridges in motion, people using them today. The Grenville Commercial Complex. The Seamoon Cultural Center that was destroyed in Hurricane Ivan. We had that project on stream. All those projects has been stopped. The Las Vegas playing field. The first playing field in Grenada, where we have lighting that we can play hardball cricket under lights in Las Vegas. We did that. Lighting of all these lights you see in the playing field that is happening now, that is the work of the National Party. The traffic lights in the St. George's area, that is the work of the National Party. Bishop's College, New School, the Princess Royal Hospital, the Hillsborough Health Center, that is the work of the National Party. Brothers and sisters, and the list goes on and on. But I challenge them. If they can list, I wonder if I should give them that number. If they can list 5, that is too much. Well, you know the answer. They have failed. They have failed to invest properly in the people. And hence the reason why you have these challenges with cash flow in the government. Hence the reason why some of our teachers are unable to get pay, and they blame it on the computer and the system. But we never heard that. We never had those challenges with the National Party. We warned them. We warned them that they wouldn't get paid, but they didn't believe us. But I want to say this, brothers and sisters, we have to look forward. We have to look at the way forward. While we do have a challenging time now, we believe that the New National Party has the recipe to rescue Grenada as he has done in the past. Our philosophy as a party is one of the reasons why I am standing here today. It's one of the reasons why I am proud to be a member, part and parcel of this New National Party. Our philosophy is the reason why so much people would have benefited from the works of the National Party. But what we are seeing now, especially in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, is really children's play. It's really child's play. You know, giving an impression that everything is all good and well. Everything is all good and well, covering and mushing up everything, while people are struggling and suffering. We believe that it is time for that to stop. We believe the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique deserve better. And they have better. And better is coming. Better is coming in the name of Nolan Cox and the New National Party. That is what we are certain about. We have a great opportunity. We have a great opportunity as a people, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, to invest, to trust, to work and to commit to an individual, to a party who has been there, who is tested, who has shown results, and who, of course, can be trusted. We can be trusted. Somebody who is committed, somebody who is honest in the efforts towards people. Brothers and sisters, I don't have to try. I don't have to try to work to care about people, to show that I care about people. It comes, not even while I'm sleeping, it happens. And that is the true asset of the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. That is the true asset of the new National Party. By having people who really, really care for them on a daily basis. I mean, we have a lot of stories. I have a lot of stories I could give you. But probably this is not the setting for it. This is not the setting for it. But the time will come when a lot of information will come out and some despicable stuff that is going on. You know, heart-wrenching stuff. How our people have been treated. Disrespect. Senior citizens have been disrespected, you know, by kids who should know better. We do not tolerate that. Our seniors deserve better. So I want to close by saying how pleased I am, how honored I am to be here in this diaspora, and to thank you for your unwavering support. I think sometimes we take for granted the relationship that we have with the diaspora, how critical it is, and how important it is for us to know the essence of this relationship. And if you look back at some of the results that this relationship has nurtured, I think that we, as Grenadians, we have to be proud of who we are, irrespective of which party that we support. And the diaspora truly represents a united approach. Whenever there is a call in crisis, the diaspora responds, irrespective of the political preference. And that is one of the things that I love about the diaspora. And I want to commend you for that. I want to commend you for that. But we have to continue to press on. And the National Party stands ready to rescue not just Carriacou and Petit Martinique, but our country from this crisis that we are facing. Brothers and sisters, it's bad. It's bad, but not hopeless, because you have the new National Party to take you through decades and decades. So we want to thank you and ask you to continue to give support to the National Party, whatever efforts we have, and of course, your beloved family, friends, and citizens of this country that we dearly love. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening.
I did make a request, and I spoke up the noise level had to go up. If we are going to congratulate Brother Cox, let's do it like this. Let me take this opportunity to remind you that the Carriacou and Petit Martinique New York chapter of the New National Party, they have a fall brunch. No, not falling down. They have a fall brunch, and that's going to be on Saturday, November the 16th. Like they know when I'm going back. And the time is 1 until you say when. 1 p.m. until you say when. And it's going to be at 302 East 91st Street between Lenox and Clarkson. Music by DJ Gemini Sounds. Price is $30. And the menu, fried fish, chicken, pork, cuckoo, roll rice, macaroni pie, and more, Saraka style. For tickets, you can contact Jacinta 917-615-4918, Wilson 917-754-1319, Nisha 347-683-1997, and Carlos 718-813-6722. And just to remind you, again, we can't stop letting you know that the new National Party is in 40th mood, celebrating 40 years as a political party serving Grenada. The anniversary officially begins on the 24th of November and continues until the 3rd of December. Activities include Sunday, the 24th of November, church service. And that's information for the folks back home, not necessary for us here. Wednesday, the 27th of November, there'll be a press conference. Saturday, the 30th of November, there'll be a banquet and awards. And on Sunday, the 1st of December, a gospel concert and a mass rally. And on Tuesday, the 3rd of December, it will be, and this is something you can participate in, it's the NNP Wear Green Day. So plan well. Maybe you can get one of those jackets. I see some nice jackets around. Maybe you can get one of those jackets. Say that again? No, I want you to buy one. I would not encourage you to steal. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue, we have more to come, of course. And when I first came in contact with this next speaker, I was like, could she really do this? That's when I first came in contact with her. But when she spoke for the very first time, and I had the opportunity, of course, to listen, I was under no misgivings that she was ready for the job. She continues, yes, she's one of the best. She continues to represent her constituency in a magnificent manner. Ladies and gentlemen, happy am I to introduce for you our third speaker here this evening on the table. Let's put our hands together. St. Andrew, Northeast. Make some noise.
40 years we going strong and getting stronger. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We love it. The future looking right bright. And we moving on just right. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. And in 40 years we going strong and getting stronger.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your warm welcome. And let me first of all recognize our political leader, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. There is no other like him. They could try, but they will not get through. Also, my other colleagues on the platform, both Senators Nolan Cox and Dwight Horsford, my colleague, Sister Evelyn Pear, she's here, and Brother Peter David. But I want to say a special good evening to all of you NNP supporters in New York, the diaspora, all our well-wishers, my family, Kenisha, and all the others who are here. I'm happy to see you. Let us recognize former Ambassador Dennis Antwine. It is indeed a pleasure to be in your company this evening, and I want to say a special thank you to all of you. Your support echoes across the Caribbean, and I know that the love that you have for our country, Grenada, is as strong as ever. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Brothers and sisters, today I will focus on an issue that affects all of us Grenadians, young and old, rural and urban. It is about our youth, their challenges, their future, and more importantly, the future of our nation. The challenges our young people face today are greater than ever before. When we talk about the challenges facing our young people today, we are not just talking about their individual struggles. We're talking about issues that impact the very fabric of our society. For the past 2 years, brothers and sisters, our young people have been ignored by this current administration. And because we have been advocating on their behalf, calling for some engagement for our youth, today we see some very small steps being made. You see, brothers and sisters, when our young people are left behind, our nation cannot move forward. And tragically, we are beginning to see the consequences of a government that has overlooked its responsibilities to our young people. Our young people were promised opportunities, pathways to meaningful employment, and support in launching businesses. They were promised sustainable and permanent employment. But instead, they have been handed backward policies, reduced support, and lip service rather than genuine action. And what happens as a result? Our young people today are faced with rising frustration and a growing sense of hopelessness. Our young people are losing faith, not only in the future, but in our nation. As the new administration took office, they vowed to put youth at the center of their agenda. But I want you to look around, look at what is happening, and answer me this. Have you seen any sustainable new initiatives for our young people after 2.5 years? Where are the new initiatives to match the challenges of today? The only program we have seen that they have relaunched is a program that we implemented in government. The fresh ideas that they have promised have not yet materialized. As a result, we have also seen a sharp decline in youth entrepreneurship, limited access to financial support for our young business owners. You see, under our administration, they were our rising stars, our future business leaders, but today they are left in the dark. Brothers and sisters, unemployment continues to rise amongst our young people. We have young, capable, bright men and women eager to contribute to our communities. They want to be part of something big. They want meaningful job opportunities. However, they are met with barriers, empty promises, and policies that simply don't address the reality of today's job markets. And we know that when there is no work, there is no purpose, and our young people lose hope. What happens when our young people lose hope, brothers and sisters? We all know the answer. It leads to despair. And far too often, it leads to crime. Crime, brothers and sisters, is not born out of the love for wrongdoing, you know. Crime grows as a result of the absence of genuine opportunities for our young people. Crime grows when our young people look around and they see nothing to strive for. There is no support system for them to lean on. There is no hope for change. When we fail to provide the jobs that they need, the mentorship support, and pathways to success, we are creating an environment where crime becomes the option. Not a choice, but out of necessity. We have all seen the headlines. We know our reality. Crime rates are on the rise in our beautiful country, Grenada. And it is our young people, most times, who are the victims, and sadly, sometimes, the perpetrators. But this is not a path they chose. It's a path born out of desperation, one that could have been avoided if only the current administration kept their promises to them. Our young people are not looking for handouts. Actually, they are looking for a hand up. They are asking for vocational training programs. We had so many of these programs to engage our young people when we were there. They want opportunities to be self-reliant and to make an honest living. But where are the vocational programs that were promised? Where are the resources for technical training? Where is the infrastructure for our young men and women who all they're asking for is a hand up? Furthermore, we are seeing a frustration of sadness and ultimately anger in our young people. We must understand that they face mental health challenges. And no amount of walk in the park or walk along the road will help solve our mental challenges that our young people face. If we want to feel safe in Grenada, it is important to curb our crime rates that is rising. And it's important to address the mental needs of our people. It is not just a health issue, not just a social issue, but it is also an economic and a crime issue. Brothers and sisters, our young people feel like they're invisible to this current administration. And when you feel invisible, you become disconnected. This is a risk for all of us. And that is why, as a party, we say and we know we will rescue the young people of our country. By rescuing our young people, it is not just about talking and giving empty promises and making catchy slogans. We are talking about real action. Our new national party is ready to make youth development a priority once again. We will rebuild bridges that have been broken. We will restore all of the programs that gave our young people hope. and we will launch new initiatives to match the needs of today's society. Our vision is simple. We wish to see a Grenada where every young person has access to education, training, mental health support, and job opportunities. A Grenada where young people can feel empowered, engaged, and supported. A Grenada where crime will not be the answer, because there will be opportunities and hope everywhere for our young people. We have a plan because we have the experience and we have the will to rescue our young people. But, brothers and sisters, we need each and every one of you to stand with us. We need your voices, your energy, your determination to bring this message back home. Tell your friends, tell your families, and your communities that the new national party is ready to fight for a better future for our young people. Our young people deserves a government that does more than just promise. We need an administration that can deliver its promises to our youth. And with your help, we will make this vision a reality. Thank you, brothers and sisters. God bless each and every one of you.
Without even using the microphone, I ain't find I hear the noise, That song's a little bit better. So don't forget the brunch, that's coming up. The brunch is coming up, as I said, on Saturday, November the 16th. I find that guy only taking a picture of them people and them, wait, now you didn't see me here or what? No, man, I didn't see you take my picture, take it. You understand? Yeah. I find you going on. And send it from me, eh? Don't feel you're keeping it and blow it up and put it in your house, you know. Send it from me. Hey, you're going on, partner. Put your hands together for Sister Kate Lewis. The next speaker I have the pleasure of introducing is a person who goes way back with me. Fortunately or unfortunately, my mom got a job in 1972 thereabouts in St. George's. Mommy last child had to travel with mommy. So I went down to the city with mommy. She worked at the Anglican Rectory as a domestic for many years. So that's where I grew up. But there's some others who the rectory, the Anglican Rectory, had influence on also. They pretend that, it ain't exist no more, but joke. As a matter of fact, I remember because I was an acolyte too. Yeah, Doc, I was. So, what I remember that person, the family had their special seat in the church. Nobody sat there. It was like sacrilege to go and sit down there. As a matter of fact, when the people came to clean the church, they cleaned that spot first. But that was not something that they got for free. The family, together with other families, they were responsible for keeping the grounds, making sure that the bougainvilleas were the correct height and twisted properly and everything, and the lawn was manicured and everything. And I, of course, are living in a rectory, so I don't walk in. And I'm watching them walking in. Today, he's a dear friend of mine. When I tell people that Peter David and I go back a long way, they don't understand. Ladies and gentlemen, happy am I to bring to the microphone the Honorable Peter David, Parliamentary Representative for the constituency of St. George.
Funny enough.
Before you speak, just someone, HJP 6801. 6801. You left your lights on. Yeah.
Funny enough, all the acolytes that don't come out worthless. I don't know what it is, but all the acolytes come out worthless. He's my good friend still, but he's worthless. Yeah, the wine in the church. The wine in the church, I where you sitting. Political leader, Dr. Keith Mitchell, other members at the head table, Sister Pierce, Sister Kate, Dwight, Brother Cox. I'll move fast because the time is on us. Brothers and sisters, always a pleasure for me to be in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of the 16th constituency, here in New York, because quite frankly, the 16th constituency means all Grenadians in the diaspora, but I'm here with the 16th constituency in New York. It's always a pleasure to meet and speak with you, united by the spirit that transcends borders. Your presence here this evening, brothers and sisters, speaks volumes about your commitment to our beloved nation's future and truly reflects your deep concern about the issues we face back home. Today we are confronted with significant challenges. Many of our people are hurting and they're searching for solutions. As we navigate these trying times, it is easy to succumb to cynicism or foster mistrust and division. But I urge you to remember that our shared journey toward empowerment and progress requires us to prioritize substance over rhetoric, collaboration over division, and love over the politics of hate and spite. I have always advocated unity in development. Government and opposition, community organizations, civil society, trade unions, the business sector, all working hand in hand for Grenada. You see, sisters and brothers, we are a small nation, about 110,000. In fact, ever since I born, we have 100,000 people. I don't know if as one go, one born, I don't know what it is. But ever since I born many years ago, that is what we have. I don't know if that's counted proper, but that's the way it is. And we are all soaking wet. We need each other. And despite of the divisiveness that politics often presents, there are dedicated, hardworking, good people, good individuals in every sector who genuinely want what's best for Grenada. Yes, there's a small segment of society that criticizes without offering solutions. But they are increasingly out of step with the needs of the Grenadian people. The need for solidarity and unity, patriotism, and commitment to our families and our communities. I know you here in the diaspora feel that all too well. As we are all well aware, there is no more patriotic Grenadian than those in the diaspora. The most patriotic of Grenadians are in the diaspora. Sisters and brothers, that is why we must continue to hope for and advocate unity and bipartisanship on many levels. We must have enough faith in the Grenadian political conscience to believe that together we can find common ground on the issues that threaten our very survival, such as climate change, healthcare, education, skyrocketing food prices, a shortage of adequate housing, increasing incidence of crime, and rising unemployment. We must, as a people, find solutions for these problems. It is therefore unfortunate that this administration is so reluctant or unwilling to seek help or embrace constructive ideas for progress, which is the essence of good governance. On many occasions, we have reached out. People at the head table tell you we have reached out to offer our assistance with the collective knowledge gained after decades in government. But that has been to no avail. There seems to be a steady display of arrogance that is undermining confidence in their ability to properly govern our beloved land. Brothers and sisters, even persons who are supporters of administration, I hear it all the time, even supporters are concerned as what they see as an amateurish reluctance and egotism on the part of the government to listen to constructive criticism and advice. That is all we've been saying in Parliament. When you listen, we offer constructive advice, but there has been no response, and that is amateurish, and that is not in the interest of the Grenadian people. Let us recall the NNP's approach, particularly between 2013 and 2018. That is a period that many consider our most effective governance periods in Grenada. We got into government facing serious economic challenges. Dr. Mitchell will tell you about it. No money in the treasury. There were issues, many issues confronting the country. When we got into government, we reached out to everybody. Yes, we had our missteps, but were humble enough to acknowledge them, correct course, and extend a hand of fellowship. All sectors of our society were invited to be involved in the process. And their participation was a major factor in getting us out of the difficulties that we faced. That is what good governance looks like, involvement of all of the people. Each misstep that you make offers an opportunity to regroup, lift each other, and continue moving forward together. We are called to support one another, especially during times like the ones we recently experienced with Hurricane Beryl. Friends, we live in an age filled with noise and distractions, but we must remain steadfast and focused on what truly matters: our livelihoods, our communities, and the future of our children. The issues we face are real and they are urgent. Let me for one moment express my solidarity with the sisters and brothers from Carriacou and Petit Martinique, from our sister isles. I want to say to Brother Cox that what is taking place in Carriacou is inexcusable. Many are waiting for the government's response still, as Brother Cox indicated, but my Brother Cox has addressed these issues, so I will say no more. Just to say to him that we stand with him and the people of the Sister Isles, and I want to join all the speakers who have expressed our absolute thanks to Grenadians in the diaspora. Grenadians in the diaspora at work again, coming to help rescue Grenada, in this case, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Brothers and sisters, one of my first initiatives when I came into government in 2008 was the establishment of the Office of Diaspora Affairs in the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. It was one of my proudest moments. I have always advocated for the deepening of the involvement of the diaspora in the development of the country. As Foreign Minister and First Minister ever of Diaspora Affairs, in both the NDC, I was also Minister for Diaspora Affairs in the NNP. I advocated that the diaspora be given a place on the table. In fact, as part of our program, we held the first ever diaspora conference in Grenada in 2010. It was during that period that I coined the phrase the 16th constituency. Among the many proposals on the table at the conference was the appointment of a senator responsible for diaspora affairs, a proposal I still support. Just as a senator for the business sector, because the business sector is important, just as a senator for the agricultural sector, because the agricultural sector is important, and just as a senator for the labor sector, because the labor is important, so too there should be a senator responsible to represent the interest of Grenadians in the diaspora. Our diaspora communities must not be simply seen to be there to send us stuff when we need it, but they have no voice on the table of governance. They need a seat at the table of governance. Note that remittances, and the political leader who was Minister of Finance for many years will tell you that remittances to Grenada from the diaspora plays a significant role in our GDP. Without those remittances, Grenada will be in trouble. The diaspora, therefore, and I repeat, deserves a seat on the table. Of course, the mechanics of doing it, we need to work out, but we can work it out. In this regard, I want to ask this government, what is the state of the diaspora policy document that has been developed over the years? There was a document that was developed after years of consultation with the diaspora in London, the diaspora in Canada, the diaspora in Trinidad, diaspora throughout the world. There is a document there waiting to be implemented with many of these proposals. And I say this, brothers and sisters. You see, I lived and practiced law in New York for 10 years. I lived in Canada for 5 years, and I lived in London for 5 years. I lived and took an active role in all of these Grenadian communities. So believe me when I tell you that the further you go away from Grenada, the more Grenadians become patriotic. We just have to recall the responses in Ivan and the response in Beryl. And I say all of this to say thank you to the diaspora, but I also advocate on your behalf to get involved in development. If you are paying the piper, you must at least call a couple notes of the tune. And that is what I believe the diaspora should be advocating for. Not just when we need something, we sell and tell you, but you must have a voice on the table, of course. We'll have to work out the mechanics because we can't have elections up here and elections down there for that. So that is why I say a senator, not an MP, a senator. I want to clear that up, not, the argument. A senator who will be appointed. Brothers and sisters, I have a limit on time, but I cannot leave here today without commenting on a love relationship that developed late in my life. The love I developed for the agricultural sector. I must say a few words on that. Growing up in the city, as my brother Andre said, I didn't know much about agriculture. But when I became Minister for Agriculture in 2022, while the relationship was late and short-lived because the elections come and take away my love, while it was late and short-lived, it was deep and profound. It was very rewarding in the sense that I developed very close relations with farmers, and I got to understand how farmers think and why it is so difficult for them sometimes, and I developed a deep understanding of the agricultural sector. Agriculture, we always say, is the backbone of the rural economy, but I believe that agriculture is both important to rural and the urban economy. Agriculture is important to the development of the country, and that is why it is so sad that this sector has been neglected, putting our food supply at risk and leaving farmers vulnerable. In the wake of Hurricane Beryl, our farmers need our support more than ever. Agriculture isn't just about crops. It's about intertwined with shelter and overall security for all our families. We welcome the recent payouts made to farmers. We welcome that. But much more needs to be done. One of the issues that we are confronting is that many farmers, having dealt with Ivan, having replanted their crops and this now devastation of A whole lot of our tree crops, thousands of our tree crops down, many of them are considering leaving the sector. Ivan and Beryl tore something from their hearts. Several weeks ago, brothers and sisters, I made a call for a national conference to discuss the future of agriculture in the country. Every year, every decade we talk about agriculture. We need to sit, have a national conference on agriculture and decide how we are going to develop the sector. But I want to add, there are some issues that must be addressed. What is the position of the marketing board? I have heard nothing about the marketing board in recent months. There was a big talk. We are going to commercialize, we are going to privatize. Nothing has been said recently about marketing board. And the truth is, the marketing board is critical for the development of the agricultural sector, and this government needs to say something about what is happening with the marketing board. What is the relationship between agriculture and tourism? There was a promise that we are going to ensure that the hotels buy local produce. Has that been happening? And if not, why not? Brothers and sisters, what is the position with farm labor? That is something I learned a lot when I went into the sector, the problem of farm labor. Brothers and sisters, I say here this evening that the agricultural sector needs to be given more importance. And it seems to me, based on what I've been hearing, agriculture seems to have been abandoned. Brothers and sisters, the issue of security, my sister Kate said a lot about it. There is a rise of crime and violence. My own constituency, the town of St. George, has had its share of incidents. As a representative of hard-working families, I see this issue daily. I feel the pain of the parents, particularly mothers, who despite their best efforts have to confront the issue of their kids' involvement in crime. Some have died and others are in prison. We need to take back our communities. This includes collaboration at all levels of our society. And we need to address the concerns of the most vulnerable. We need to ensure that qualified professionals, not political cronies, staff our rehabilitation facilities, and that our police force is supported in the critical work. I know the political leader will address the issue of the police force. We must bring social community partners on board, including the churches, the NGOs, the schools, the homes, the youth, and other interested groups. I commend the Grenada Bar Association, the Association of Lawyers, for the work they are doing in helping youngsters stay away from crime. I commend the judges and magistrates who are all trying to find solutions to this problem. But extremely important in this regard are the programs that the government normally has for young people. And again, I don't want to repeat what was said by Sister Kate. There are a lot of programs, the Empower program. I go to court all the time. And I see young people, the judges, the magistrates trying to find productive things for young people to do, and they are not finding any. And that is why what Sister Kate said was so critical. So I spend most of my days in the courts with magistrates who lament over the fact that there are no programs for these young people. History has a way of jolting us into action, brothers and sisters, often when it's too late. When we turn a blind eye to our people's frustrations, needs, and cries. Today, I urge the government of Grenada to join hands with all concerned citizens to act swiftly before these growing challenges of crime and insecurity spiral out of control. Friends, as we stand at this critical juncture in our nation's life, how do we proceed to define our legacy? I am here with you in this fight. My only interest is the well-being of the people of Grenada. The NNP is committed to being your voice and advocating for families and communities throughout the island state. Let us stand together, vigilant and engaged. Your involvement is necessary for democracy to flourish, and your voices must be heard. Brothers and sisters, we are more than just citizens. We are friends and neighbors. While we may be different, we may have different visions for our future, our ultimate goal is to create a brighter tomorrow for all. So tonight, I thank all who answered the call of a united and engaged Grenada. Throughout our history, we have endured trials, been humbled by nature, and been torn by our struggles. But through it all, we are guided by our faith and driven by our commitment to this nation's future. Let us remember that our differences, whether within government or opposition, should never overshadow our shared commitment to Grenada's progress. We must rise above divisive discourse, bound by the higher purpose of building a nation that thrives on honor, dignity, and respect. We carry forward the legacy of those who came before us, and we are duty-bound to have a similar legacy for those who came after us. Brothers and sisters, you know who I am. You know my work and you know my interest. I have been in a vineyard of struggle for the last 5 decades. From the Black Power and Student movement in the 1970s, the National Liberation Movement of the 80s, and more recently, my involvement in electoral politics. I have never wavered from my commitment to the working people of our beloved nation. When I joined the NNP, I did so because I was convinced that the NNP was the best party to spearhead the development of Grenada. And that is why I am still here. I still maintain that belief. My interest is in the people of Grenada, their needs and their priorities. While I have witnessed many events throughout my life that has tested my confidence in our political processes, I have developed an undying faith in the resilience and capacity of the Grenadian people. Throughout this period, I have seen development and we've had setbacks. But what is abundantly clear to me is that the Grenadian people at home and in the diaspora will ultimately choose community, unity of spirit, respect, and progress for our country. Thank you. May God bless you.
I guess the tongue boy can speak. Let's make some noise for the tongue boy. Next speaker. We're moving along quickly. I'm going to make a statement, and then I'm going to tell you who the next speaker is. However, when I make this statement, she is going to explain that statement to you. And the statement is youth for and in development. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Sister Emmeline Pierre.
Thank you. All right. And I'm sure everybody realized we have some bad behaved people in here. Political leader of the New National Party, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell. I wish to recognize my distinguished colleagues at the head table this evening. I recognize also Ambassador Denison Twine, who has done so much for our beautiful country, and his special guest this evening. I recognize too all of those who have joined us virtually this afternoon, our brothers and sisters at home, and those who are here in the diaspora. and of course you, the beautiful people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique in the diaspora. I say this afternoon, it is such a joy, such a pleasure to be with you. And I recognize all of those who have come, St. Andrew Southeast. And I recognize friends and family who have joined this afternoon. It is difficult, very, very difficult, to travel all the way from Grenada and not have the opportunity to say, NNPites! 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 I'm done. Brothers and sisters, as we engage tonight, I want to pause to specially recognize you. I consider you to be the heroes in the diaspora. Many of you who I know very well that I can recognize tonight have made so many contributions to the development of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. You have struggled, you have toiled, you have worked hard, you have given back so much. And you know what? There are people that I see in this room that did not just stay here and send their support. They came to Grenada and they worked and they contributed. But this evening, I want to specially recognize those of you, as Brother Cox would have said, who have contributed so much thus far to the relief efforts after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. And I want to especially thank you on behalf of our party, on behalf of our country, on behalf of the team in Carriacou that Brother Cox has led so well, and those who have worked along with him to bring relief, work day and night, all of those who are involved in the Meals on Wheels and all of those programs that have worked so hard and so well. Brothers and sisters, as we engage here tonight, our country stands at a critical juncture. People from every sector and strata of our society are voicing their concerns about the direction that our country is heading. Many of them fear victimization and are afraid to express themselves openly. Many are indeed disappointed with this new administration that has strayed so far from the election promises. Brothers and sisters, as the official opposition, we have an important role that we must play to be the voice of our people, to be the voice of the voiceless. It is our hope that as we speak, our government would take into consideration the concerns and the plight of the Grenadian people. Brothers and sisters, over the past 2 years, Grenada has seen a steady rise in the cost of living. The price of basic food items, medication, have skyrocketed, making it very difficult for some of our people to survive. The cost of food went up by 15.46 percentage points since the NDC came into office. Additionally, the cost of water, electricity, gas, even sugar has increased since they came. Brothers and sisters, some basic medication that can determine the survival of people went up by some 65%. 65%. Brothers and sisters, while some people may insensitively brush these facts aside, they may say to you that cost of living is going up everywhere in the world. We strongly believe that in the case of Grenada, the reckless spending of the administration,
the removal of safety net programs, the actions and inactions of our government is contributing directly to this problem. So I say to you tonight, the monthly allowance paid to many senior citizens in Grenada was reduced and in some cases removed. Some of these senior citizens voted for the NDC because they believed that the allowances was moving from $300 to $600. Brothers and sisters, hundreds of single mothers, breadwinners, Imani trainees were dismissed from their jobs after the last elections only because of their perceived political affiliation. Some of these workers, I guarantee you, they voted for this government because they were promised they will not lose their jobs. Today, many of these workers, sadly, they are struggling to put food on their tables. Brothers and sisters, while they struggle, government ministers received 2 salary increases within 1 year, resulting in a total average total compensation increasing from $7,000 to $15,000. Brothers and sisters, under the NNP administration, a number of safety net initiatives were implemented, and I want to share those with you. We introduced the cap on gas, and we subsidized the cost so that no one was paying more than $15 at the pump. We removed all government charges and taxes on electricity, giving a 25% reduction on non-fuel charge just to reduce the cost of electricity. We gave needy families an additional $150 under the SEED program, additional support. Brothers and sisters, unlike this administration, we did not tax sugar and we did not put a levy on water because we had a heart for people. Brothers and sisters, outside of these household charges, increased cost on electricity and water, let us know that these are all direct input costs for farmers and businessmen. So when I say to you that the cost of living and the increase in the cost of living can be directly attributed to the actions and inactions of this government that we have, I say to you tonight, let us not allow them to escape from their responsibilities. Brothers and sisters, these costs must be passed on to the consumers. And so we cannot understand sometimes why certain items would have gone so high. Cost passed on to consumers. Brothers and sisters, further, we did not increase the rate of NIS during our time, COVID-19 pandemic. It was a deliberate policy position to ensure that employees' disposable income were not directly impacted. While we did that, we introduced unemployment benefits for all affected workers. Brothers and sisters, this administration, in spite of the rising cost in living, they have increased workers' NIS contribution. And on top of that, intends to add another 3% for public officers. Where is the heart? Where is the heart? Brothers and sisters, this administration appears not to be concerned at all about how cost of living is affecting the ordinary man. Another burning issue at home is the issue of housing. As you know, our administration would have built some 600 units with the support of the People's Republic of China. Brothers and sisters, I say to you tonight, the sole purpose was to provide affordable housing to ordinary, low-income, no-income families. Today, sadly, our government is demanding that families get a loan to pay for these units up front. Furthermore, we are reliably informed that some units are being purchased by individuals who already have a home, only with one intention: to use these units for business purposes. How sad. But you know, brothers and sisters, what is even more heartbreaking is that the NDC government refused to make these units available to people who would have lost their homes during the passage of the hurricane. How sad. Many of our people, and Brother Cox would have alluded to that, are still living under substandard conditions. Wetting, literally wetting when it rains. Where is the heart? Brothers and sisters, but you know what? Many of these said persons have admitted that they voted for the NDC because of the promise to deliver 500 Grenadian-style homes every year. It is so sad when you think that what you get in return is that people have to sleep on their tent, people have to sleep under their step, and note what? Some of these units are empty. Again, I ask, where is the heart? Brothers and sisters, concerns continue to develop in our health sector. Ordinary citizens are unable to access basic health care and basic medication at our facilities. Brothers and sisters, this administration promised that they were going to improve the healthcare sector. I guarantee you tonight, you ask any Grenadian, and the response would be the health sector has gotten worse. Brothers and sisters, despite the $500 initiative and incentive for nurses, many of them continue to leave. And if you ask them today, many of them who were promised that they were going to be made permanent, many of them operate today, not even with a contract. Brothers and sisters, as I said in some meeting earlier, many of these nurses are petrified because they are hearing about the plans to statutarize our hospital. Well, if you listen today, the Minister for Health confirmed that the hospital will be statutarized. Where is the consultation? Where is the voice of the people in this matter? Where is the heart? Brothers and sisters, many also voted for the promised pension, not even realizing that NNP was already paying pension to some 2,200 retirees, an annual budget of $75 million. And I'm sure for many of you, this is news tonight. Brothers and sisters, in the area of education, the NDC government introduced a policy of free tuition for everybody, whether you could afford or not, free tuition. Imagine that people who are sponsoring tuition to needy students today, they are receiving free tuition. Brothers and sisters, under the NNP administration, we supported students not just with tuition, transportation, uniform, school supplies, and even paid for their CXC examinations. We agree that you can expand that program, but I say to you tonight, the expansion of this program have led many students from rural communities without an opportunity to attend TAMCC. Many of them cannot attend because there's no more transportation assistance. Additionally, the government boasts of free tuition for students. But what did we see last week? For the first time since the revolution, students at TAMCC took the street because they could not operate at the labs, no reagents. They cannot do their assignments. They cannot do their labs for external examination. Free tuition for everybody. Brothers and sisters, the lack of adequate structure, the lack of systems to deal with this policy has resulted with TAMCC being one of the new blocks in town, where students resort to gambling and the police has to frequent the compound to deal with issues. Brothers and sisters, a pure response, a situation of lack of leadership and management under this administration. Brothers and sisters, the government went further to introduce a policy that says students at secondary and primary schools must pay no fees. We have no problem with that policy, but you got to get it right. Brothers and sisters, the late payment to schools have resulted in schools not being able to function adequately because of this new policy. So parents are begging, teachers are begging parents to bring brooms and mops, basic supplies that they're unable to access. Let us not talk about the free meals program. Schools collected historically $1 per child. Brothers and sisters, you know it. The government introduced a policy which restricted parents from making this contribution. And what is the result? Poor leadership, no planning. Many schools had to abandon this program for weeks because they had no supplies from the government to feed the children. Brothers and sisters, it is so unfortunate the kind of way that this administration is taking leadership and management of so many sectors. Brothers and sisters, we find it difficult to understand why there are so many issues that our government is not addressing, and in many cases, their failure to deliver on so many of their promises. And this is why we don't understand. You would recall the government boasted of receiving some $500 million when they went to the Treasury. They said the Treasury was pregnant. You're right. On top of that, brothers and sisters, this administration would have sold over 8,500 new passports under the CBI program since they get into office. But you know what is interesting about this figure? 8,500 plus. That amount in 2 years plus is more than was sold during the entire period that the NNP would have presided over this program. The same people that would have attacked this program so viciously. But brothers and sisters, they would have raised revenue of over $1 billion from this program. And so we continue to ask them, why is it that St. Vincent could report the construction of over 1,000 houses in St. Vincent? And Brother Cox said to you, not one yet in Karakou. Not one. Brothers and sisters, we say to this government, you received on top of that 500 million, 1 billion. On top of that, you receive 118 million payout from the CRIF program. And that is complement the new national party that would have signed on to the CRIF program. We say to the government, why is it taking so long to respond to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique? Brothers and sisters, we say tonight that the cost of living continues to rise when the government has the resources to implement safety net programs to buffer or to cushion the effects of the rising cost in living. So we are calling on the government. We continue to call on them. Reduce wastage. Reduce travel. Cut out some gala. And make sure that you respond to the needs of the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We say to the government, it is time to settle down and to mind the business of the people, because that is what they elected you for, to take care of their business. We say to the administration, the NNP team is ready. We have done it before. We are prepared to do it again. We are prepared to rescue the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Because when the people call, we always ready to answer. So I say to you tonight, under a new national party administration, we are going to continue to take care of those people who cannot take care of themselves. Under an NNP administration, we are going to continue to take care of our students and those who are in need. We believe that if you are in a position to pay, you should pay. If you can't, we take care of you. But we are saying you cannot implement a policy where you give to those who have already, and you take away from those who don't have. So tonight we issue a warning to this administration to buckle your belts, buckle your seat belts, and move forward doing the work of the people. And if you don't, an NNP administration will very soon replace you to do the work that the people of Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique will call us for. When you call, we will answer. God bless you. God bless the diaspora.
Hear me, Mr. DJ. Mr. DJ. Play that again for them people and them from Telescope. Play that again for them Telescope. Mr. DJ. These books are on sale, written by Dr. Dennis G. Antoine, and it's called Keith Mitchell, the Man I Know. Well, I got the right one because I know him too. So not only you, I feel like I got the right one too. There's a cake being raffled. It's only $1 chance. So you can check it down at the back. It's only $1 chance to go home with that cake this evening. Don't forget the brunch on the 16th and all the activities. I don't know, you probably might want to decide which one you're going to come home for. On Sunday the 24th, church service. On Wednesday the 27th, and that's November. Press conference. You can't hear me. Say again. Oh, those at the back. That's what Rome does do. All right, so those at the back, the people are saying, keep it down. Right. On Saturday, the 30th of November, a banquet and award ceremony. If I don't get an award, I don't go in. On Sunday, the 1st of December, gospel concert and a mass rally. And on Tuesday, the 3rd of December, that is the day I like, wear green day. Whether you're up here or you're down there, or you're in Carriacou or you're in Petit Martinique, it's green on Tuesday, the 3rd of December. With all the talking, I have never done this before. Not the talking thing. I have never had an opportunity to introduce the next speaker in anything. Hold on. Listen to me carefully, you know. So your boy will do so and organize himself and say, well, I introducing him tonight. Papa, yo, they say no. They say no. They send me some information. I have to read it from my phone. But I like this. A professor at Medgar Evers College, an NYC elementary school principal, and a community person involved in many community events geared to the development of the well-being of our brothers and sisters. Once you're a Grenadian here in New York, or back home in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, the opportunity, the responsibility has been given to this young man to introduce the next speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome to the podium to do the introduction, Dr. Stephen Summerson.
With protocol being established, let me say good night to the head table. NNPites. Good night, everyone. I'm going to try to be as brief as possible. I'm not afraid of microphone, so I can go on and on and on and on. All right? As the chairperson mentioned, I'm a community person, so I do this a lot. But let me take the opportunity to introduce to you tonight someone who you know, but I'm going to try to do that from a different angle. As I try to put this together, I tried to find many words or phrases that describe this individual who I know from, of course, observing the political scene. And the one word that came to mind was dynamic leadership. Dynamic leadership. And permit me to read you a couple of items from the Google Dictionary. It says, dynamic leadership is in a management style that helps businesses adapt to change and navigate uncertainty. And I want you to listen to that word, uncertainty. because tonight we heard about a lot of uncertainty. Dynamic leaders are able to, one, adapt to change. They can adjust their plans and strategies as needed. They can lead through difficult times. They can bring their team together to tackle challenges. A dynamic leader fosters positive change. They can create a favorable environment for employees to be productive and innovative. Dynamic leaders are not just willing to be flexible, they are actively motivated to be flexible in all aspects, socially, intellectually, and emotionally. Leaders with flexibility seek a balance between their own interests and those of the organization, its interests, and its people. And here tonight, I'm introducing you to that dynamic leader. And we're going to do it this way. When I read a couple of items, I'm going to ask the question who it is, and you're going to tell us who that person is. Can we do that? He was born of humble beginning in the community of Brizan, St. George's. Do you know who that person is? Call his name. The longest serving Prime Minister of Grenada, holding the office for more than 22 years. Who is that person? He's the current leader of the new National Party and the leader of His Majesty opposition in the House of Representatives from 2008 to 2013 and 2020 to the present. Who is that person? He led the NNP to victory on June 20th, 1995. Who was that person? Again in January 1999. Who is that person? November 2003. Who is that person? February 2013. Who was that person? March 13, 2018. Who is that person? 3 times won all 15 seats. Who is that person? My brothers and sisters, NNPites, it gives me great pleasure to call to the microphone the NNP, leader of the NNP, the Honorable Dr. Claudius Mitchell. Thank you.
Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. Say me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. Say me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down. No, me can't sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Me can't sit down.
Oh, you can't sit down. Let's sit down. Well, friends, my cup is overflowing. First of all, let me thank my brother for his introduction, of course, to Andre for him, and to, of course, looking at this table here tonight. You see this table? It's a special table. That's a special table. You will see a lot more of this table in the future. Brother Cox, Brother Dwight, Sister Kate, Sister Emlyn, and Brother Peter David. Friends, you wonder why I say my cup is overflowing? They're going to tell you why before I leave the podium tonight. I am not going to keep you long because I'm so moved by this tremendous turnout. I have been in this vineyard of the political life of our country for 40 years. As you know, I left Washington, Howard University in 1984 and returned home. And I've seen a lot. The experiences I have helped me in many ways to watch and be involved in the development of my country. But friends, we lost an election in 2022. And let me make the point, because I think it's important. We did not expect to lose. It's a fact. But we lost. And as serious Democrats, we accepted that loss. But friends, I just want to advance a few reasons for that loss. Just for the record's sake, because there's so much have been said. It's clear to me that in anything in life, when you are there for a good number of time, people get tired. They want change. That's the harsh reality. I always say to people when I'm asked by younger people why we lost, I say, let me tell you something. People get married and they say to death do us part, right? And a lot of marriages end up in divorce. It's life. It doesn't necessarily mean one is wrong or right. It's about life. But I think also the fact is, after 215 seat victory, a number of people felt, despite the fact that the NNP did not misuse the governance in governing the country, did anything against the fundamental principles of governance. People felt that they wanted opposition. Some people actually voted to give us an opposition. And the fact is, the NNP itself were complacent. There were a level of complacency. So I could go to a number of other reasons, but I just wanted to make that point for what it's worth, for the history's sake. But friends, recall, NNP lost an election in 2008. It lost that election after Ivan destruction. You remember that? We got enormous acclamation from the international and regional communities for bringing back Grenada in such short time. That's a fact. It's a fact, sisters and brothers. In fact, soon afterwards, sisters and brothers, election came. And despite all the international acclaim and regional acclaim, people in Grenada, Carriacou and Peter Martinique said, time for change. That's reality. In 2022 also, you remember the COVID-19 in 2019, right? And the international community gave us credit for bringing back this country so well compared to many other countries that went through COVID-19. But in 2022, the people voted us out of government. And again, clearly we accepted it. I'm making this point for what it's worth after 2 disasters, we lost elections. I'm just using this because I don't think this is understood sufficiently, right? But friends, the fact is, we have to be satisfied. As Democrats, when the people speak, whether you like it or not, you accept it for what it's worth. But friends, what gets to me is the fact that our present government got a strong foundation, an economy that was working well. People wanted change, they gave you a chance. Use the opportunity to build on it and to help the lives of the people of the country. My friends, instead of this, I remember, friends, maybe many of you might have heard this before. I clearly did not expect it to be out of office after that election. If I tell you I expected it, I'll be lying to you. It was a disappointment, very serious disappointment. But the morning after the elections, despite the strong disappointment, I did what any loser supposed to do, whether you like it or not. When you see a good cricket match, when the match is finished, the captain, losing captain, congratulate the winning captain. Doesn't mean that he's happy, but he does what is right. I called, it was difficult, but I called the new prime minister. And I said to him, I want to congratulate you. And he answered me and said, he thanked me. And he said to me that, you know, I have not been anywhere wrong this thing. And I have little experience in this. The challenges I know is enormous, so it's tough on me now to get things moving. As soon as I settle down, I'm going to call you. I'm giving this line because I think it's important for the history. Remember, after 40 years, I have to start thinking about my legacy and history. Right? As I said, that's why I'm so happy with the team here. Right? So I said to him, I am prepared to offer advice, not political advice, because I still have a party that I'm in charge of. And I made a joke to him. I said, but don't mess up the name of Mitchell, eh? And he laughed. He laughed. And he said he will call me as soon as he settled down. 2 days later, I'm sitting at my home and I listened to the President Prime Minister. He said, I want you to know that I got a call from the former Prime Minister. But I want you to know that he called me and I did not call him. Sisters and brothers, this is a serious, serious statement. It's a statement of a child, not a man. To me, that was the first sign that we were going to be in trouble. If you do not even appreciate the principle of that call, it tells you we're not yet ready for bringing people together and managing the country. So, sisters and brothers, you see the level of incompetence that is taking place in our country. It is heartbreaking for anyone who loves our country. The wastage of your resources. The wastage. As I'm driving here, I heard Brother Dwight Horsford saying that the only transformation is in transformation in the pockets of those in office. Transformation. Friends, how could last week, I went to Carriacou with Sister Pierre to meet with Brother Cox and to see what's happening, because I've been there before after event and I just know of the problem. So we went there. And you know, among all the things that got to me, sisters and brothers, talking to the people of Carriacou and Pediatrics saw the pain. The pain. Talking to them about the sufferings. And I know, let me tell you, I know Carriacou and Pediatrics, one of the proudest people throughout the Tri-Island state of Grenada, Carriacou, is Carriaconians. They don't beg you for nothing. I know that historically. And I feel that pain. I can't understand how these guys, you are in charge of a country and there's no love, no empathy, no consideration for suffering of people. But friends, I heard about this. The playing field was made a dump. And those of you who do not know, sports is deep down in my DNA. Right? At 16 years old, I played cricket for Grenada. At 16, I played for Captain Grenada and played Windward Island cricket too. And as a sportsman, I follow sports all over the world. And here you have a playing field. And the dump, the trash was taken and placed in the playing field. So I asked to visit the place. And when I reached there, the tears came off. I can't understand how, with all the lands available in Dumfries and other places, a good tractor can clean up a place. You take the trash and the dump in the middle of Hillsborough, the tongue of Carriacou, in the only playing field in the heart of the tongue, with Hillsborough Government School and 3 other schools around there, the children has to play. Friends, if you don't know this, a real growth of a child is not only about the academic thing that you teach them in the classroom. The physical education is a critical component in the building of that child. And so I confronted one person who was apparently close to the minister. Doc, don't worry about that. When you finish, we're going to clean it up, we're going to dig up and we're going to fix up. I said, Lord of mercy. Sisters and brothers, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. No, because here. I keep referring to them here tonight. You see, I feel like a father. The father don't always have to be there. And you see the children grow up and they're taking care of things. You could go on and sit down in a rocking chair and watch it happen. I feel, that's why I said my cup is overflowing. I'm a satisfied man. I'm at peace with myself. I'm at peace. But I watch the destruction of the institutions of our country that we have built. We have spent so much and given so much to build. I watch how the guys have destroyed the police force in our country. Peter referred to that a while ago. You have a police force, not perfect, but governing appropriately. No one could accuse the NNP of placing policemen based in promoting or moving or transferring policemen based on partisan political affiliation. If we do that, we are destroying ourselves and we're destroying our country. And no one coming to me and tell me to do something like this. So the force is demoralized. And I ask anyone that knew the police force and worked with policemen, ask them how they feel and they'll tell you they're hurting. In fact, many of them are leaving the force. And many are staying only because they have a responsibility to take care of their families. And some are waiting for pay and grade. When they're done, I ain't saying nothing more than that. Friends, where is the FIU that we built was defined as one of the best financial intelligence unit in the entire Caribbean? So said the international community. With professional people managing. How could we have this level of possible corruption and not hearing a word? People are talking about bank accounts getting as fat. Where is the FIU, sisters and brothers? Because it has become a political institution. The Public Service Commission used to be managed and chaired by professional persons under the New National Party that no one could say that they were NNP partisan supporters. The President Governor General was the last chairman of the Public Service Commission. Distinguished persons like Beryl Isaac, professional lady who served over years in the public service. No one can tell me they know where she actually votes. No one. But today, sisters and brothers, the Public Service Commission is almost like a political led and creating situation where public servants now are being pressured based on politics. People are being investigated and transformed based on their perceived political affiliations. Sisters and brothers, I'm going to speak about those things. I don't care who is vexed, because it's my country I'm talking about. Sisters and brothers, and many other institutions are going down that route. Friends, I want to say this. You heard the team members speak today about how the NNP governed the country. Sisters and brothers, in that period, sisters and brothers, when the NNP took office in 1995, the country was in a serious tailspin economically. We brought the country's economy forward because we removed income tax. Everybody said it was wrong. The country would suffer. I remember the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank leader at the time, Brother Dwight Venner, said that it was a big mistake and the economy would falter. Many international institutions were not happy. I said, when the people have more money in their pocket, they will spend it and create opportunities and the economy will improve. The economy in Grenada during that period, 95 to 99, went over 5% every single year. And those who criticized backed off and gave credit for that vision, sisters and brothers. The country was moving forward, sisters and brothers. When we NNP lost government in 2008, the economy suffered again. When we came into government, sisters and brothers, we had an empty treasury, and I have to repeat this over and over. When I went into the Ministry of Finance, and public servants' money supposed to be paid, it had been made up by the 28th of the month. No money to pay. I called friends in the region, and they said the only person you could call on is the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, who may have the monies to lend you at this time. So I called Kamala Besessa, and we were able to get $20 million loan to pay public servants and to do the basic things in government. Absolutely no money in the treasury, sisters and brothers. But what happened, sisters and brothers, between 2013 and 2022, because of the management of the country, the creation of jobs, an economy that was moving forward and jobs were being created in all sectors. When we lost government in 2022, there were over $500 million in the treasury. And the guy said, they said the treasury was pregnant. Well, I don't know much about pregnancy. The ladies here will be able to tell you about pregnancy. I don't know much about that at all. But sisters and brothers, let me give you a simple approach to governance. If you want to move your country forward, it's not that difficult. One, you must unify your country as best as possible. So you have to make everyone feel they have a chance to be involved. If you don't have that, you can have all the ideas, all the beautiful economic theory, and perceived academic qualification. You will not make it if you don't bring people together. Because everyone has worth. That must be the belief. So you must have unity. So NNP did everything possible to bring people together. But you also have a situation where there must be confidence. In anything you're doing in life, unless you have confidence, it won't work. So you have to build confidence. And how you treat people, that happens. You have to show investors, sisters and brothers, when you come to Grenada, it's a place where there are rules in place so that you can invest, take risk, and you'll have a fair chance to succeed. That's important. But you also have to have a peaceful and stable society. So the police force and the institution of security must be in place to give people that level of confidence. That's another factor. This is also, you have to put in place a policy of taxation, another principle of fiscal policy that shows stability, that people would have the necessary confidence to take risk, as I mentioned earlier on. With that in place, sisters and brothers, and with a team in place doing their work, sisters and brothers, that's the fundamental condition how things will improve. Sisters and brothers, in 2018, 2019, after we brought the country forward, the IMF institution named the Minister of Finance of Grenada as the #1 finance person in the Caribbean. I was the Minister of Finance, but that title, sisters and brothers, did not come for me. It was because of the team of the new National Party. I just happened to be the minister, but without that team, it could not happen, sisters and brothers. So, friends, the fundamental thing is where we are today and why we are where we are today. So I want to make this point. As we talk about the way forward, as I said, you had enough tonight. I want to make this point. As we go forward, I feel I've given 40 years of my life to the country. I was better off financially in 1984 than I am today. But I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Because service always comes with a price. If you care, it comes with a price. So, I believe that the NNP, with a team in place, is in a good position to take this country forward. Friends, it comes a time in one's life that you have to do what you consider to be right. I am not perfect. I've never said to anyone that I'm perfect. I'm a sinner. But I have conviction. And I believe, sisters and brothers, that a team of the NNP is in place. And with my support, I believe they are ready to rescue Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. The time will come sooner than later. I will announce my own future in the politics of this country. Sisters and brothers, I've thought about it sufficiently. And I feel, sisters and brothers, that with that team in place, sisters and brothers, you have to be aware. In everything in life, sisters and brothers, there's something called generational change. Sometimes we want to go on forever and forever. You're running the business and you don't want to leave the children ready, but you're still holding on. What are you holding on for? You have the experience. So be there to help them and to hold their hands as they move forward. But you don't have to be holding the liver all the time. I feel a lot of people come to me and say, Doc, you cannot go now. I ain't going anywhere. I am there. But I don't have to be inside in charge holding the wheel. I could be on the side watching the drivers move the vehicle forward. So if they make a mistake, I could hold the wheel and say, hold on. That is where I am at my life, sisters and brothers. I am at peace with myself. And therefore, be ready to support me when I say that time has come. And I will be there as Papa, looking over the team. Sisters and brothers in the diaspora, you are wonderful. You have always been there for your country. And Peter went on to talk about this. You are part of what is taking place, will be taking place in our country. I want you to give your full support very soon to the new national party, because what is in government cannot last much longer. People are balling in this country. I believe, sisters and brothers, we have been having a lot of zonal meetings. And I believe the one thing you must never do in life as a leader or party, leading anything, is to allow the people go ahead of you. And I'm afraid if we don't do something now, the people will move ahead of us. Sisters and brothers, the time will come, I believe we must have a major march in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, sisters and brothers, to let this government know that the rescue mission has to come now. The people cannot take it anymore. You have to take back your country, sisters and brothers. And I will be there as Papa, watching that team rescue Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Thank you. I love every single one of you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mitchell. While you're on your feet, we just want to take this opportunity to just stand in just a moment of silence to recognize our dear brother Frederick Philip Brother Fly, who left us a while ago shortly. We believe that he has been a beacon for our party as a diaspora supporter, and also someone who has been living in Carriacou for the past few years and giving support to the community and building whatever. You know him more than I do. And we want to ask you, everyone, especially those at the back, to just offer just a moment of silence as we recognize our brother who has left us. So, we also, and I just want doctor to come because the dear friend of Dr. Mitchell, we also lost Brother Maguire as well. And we want to stand in a moment of silence for our two dear brothers. Thank you. May their soul rest in perfect peace.
Thank you very much. I just want to take the opportunity. We have recognized Dr. Entwine here with us. Are you hearing me now? In everything you do, you must say thanks. And you can sit here. You can sit back. In everything you do, you must say thank you. And the support group, the New York support group, have selected someone who will be saying thank you to you for coming here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss, is it Cato? Butler. Miss Butler to say thank you.
A pleasant good evening to everyone here present this afternoon. It is my task to say thank you to you. But first and foremost, we, the NNP New York chapter, would like to extend a special thank you to our invited guests at the head table. the Honorable Kate Lewis, Honorable Emmeline Pear, Senator Dwight Horsford, Senator Nolan Cox, Honorable Peter David, and Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell, political leader of the New National Party and the opposition leader, for taking the time out of their busy and tedious task to be here with us this evening. Not just to see our beautiful faces, but you bring good news, letting us know what is going on in our beautiful tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We want to say we thank you and we appreciate you for being here this afternoon. We also would like to thank the executive members of the New York Support Chapter who worked together as a united team to bring this event here today. It wasn't an easy task. We didn't have much time, but by the grace of God, we pull it through. We are very happy to see each and every one of you here this afternoon. And so we say thank you to all our supporters, all our friends, our well-wishers, and everyone who is here and those who are listening and looking on our live stream. Again, we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We now invite you to mingle with us, socialize, get to know each other, and we have light refreshments at the back, and we have a well-stocked bar. So please, again, I want to say thank you one and all.
raffle before you leave? We call in your ticket number. Right now, I'm gonna dip one, all right? Please look at your tickets. Please look at your tickets. Ticket number 067015. 067015. If you have ticket number 067015, please come see me now. You have 2 minutes.
The next one, what is the number? 067015, ticket number 067015. If you have a raffle ticket, please come to claim your cake. Meanwhile, you are all invited to a meet and greet at 535 East 19th Street on December 9th. You can look at our Facebook page. It's NNP New York Group. And all of our events will be there. You can also email us at nnpnewyork@gmail.com. We're going to draw our next number, 067027. Ticket number 067027.
067. Somebody want? All right, if you have ticket 067055. All right, you took chances on a cake and nobody wants to collect it. 067055. 067055.
Yeah, man. 06755.
All right, we tried.
06755.
We are in Brooklyn at the New York chapter town hall. We're having a wonderful time. It was a great turnout. We're very excited. A lot of our questions have been answered. And the spirit is just alive, it's vibes, NNPites all the way.
Hold strong, Grenada, hold strong. The rescue team is about to rescue y'all. Let us all stick together. Stay firm. Spice Massive, Grenadians, we love you from New York. Brothers and sisters, stay strong. Stay strong. The rescue team is coming. Thank you very much.
Live from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a part of the rescue team. We are ready. We are coming. We will rescue Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique.
Sharon Caesar, we're live in Brooklyn. NNP Town Hall Meeting. I feel good about the meeting. We had a great turnout, and I think we got a lot of information. So I feel really good about today's meeting.
Okay, I'm Dr. Stephen Samuelson. I'm a member of the NNP New York chapter for Carriacou and Peter Martinique representative. It was a pleasure being here today and being part of this meeting. I feel really good that we have so many people who came out in the diaspora to hear what's happening, back in home in Grenada, and how our party in NNP is willing to embrace what is necessary to support our people in Grenada, our brothers and sisters in Grenada, primarily and particularly in Carriacou. As a son of the soil from Carriacou, it's heartbreaking to hear about some of the concern that was raised here tonight by our brother Nolan Cork. I've actually visited Carriacou 3 weeks after Hurricane Beryl and actually, felt the pain that the people are feeling, and by now we are hoping that things would have been better. But of course, we look forward to working together with everyone. This is not about politics, this is about people, and we're hoping about that at some point we can come together and do better, primarily for our people from Carriacou and Peter Martinic. I'm from Leicester in Carriacou, and when I saw the videos, it was like a bomb dropped in Leicester Crossroad. And getting there 3 weeks later in the village and participating in whatever going on, the cleaning and everything else, this was the only time that I really felt so tired being at home. Home is always good, refreshing and everything else. But being at home and having to do all the cleanup, it was very tiring. And, supporting people who needed their phone charged and discharged, because I had the privilege to bring a generator with me. That helping the community, especially in Leicester area there, and doing some other things within the community, that made me feel good. Right, it was a social event. It's good to see that, people are here, willing to listen, and we have people here who are from all cross sections. This event this evening is not about us being a supporter of just merely the NNP. Just hearing what is going on in our country across the board is a good thing. And being in the diaspora, sometimes we hear secondhand. It was good to be here and hear it firsthand from the opposition party. And it's not being biased because I'm a member of the NNP, but just understanding what's happening and looking at how we can work together as a team to do better for Grenada, Carriacou, and Peter Martinic. I'm not sure of the contact online, but I'm sure if they Google NNP somehow, they'll be able to get information. But we are here, and we are here to do whatever is necessary for the community. I do, but I'm on Facebook and everywhere, but I don't do posting because of job restrictions and trying to be safe. I try to stay off social media. I only check social media only when I need information, but the posting and everything else, I try to stay off because of my position within the New York City Department of Education. Yes, I am. It's heartbreaking to see some of the things that are happening with them, and really, I really like to tell the kids it's gonna get better. It is gonna get better, and I want them to really, really, really continue listening to their teachers, continue listening to their parents, the support that is there within the community. Try to do their best and just hold on. It's gonna get better. It cannot get any worse than it is right now. All right, thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that.
Boom, it's your boy Kato right here. As you can see, it's all about NNP. When we say so 473, so Grenada, so experience. I'm here with Trading Photos. It's the ultimate collaboration. Look on Trading Photos website, on the Facebook, on the Instagram, on the YouTube. Look on Touch Up TV YouTube channel, and you will see the live streaming from today's event with the Dr. Honorable Keith Mitchell in New York City. And he's turning over his party and he's going to be the papa and steering and guiding the new National Democratic Party, NNP. So today it was a movie. So I want you guys to subscribe, follow Trading Photos. Don't forget, Touch Up TV, we outside, one Kato Snow Cone. New York, the Mecca, we outside. Mad.